Okay, so we're ready to go. So good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm very excited to be joined by Adam Khoo. Before we begin, please note that this session is being hosted by United Traders and is being recorded live. I'll begin this evening by introducing you to United Traders' mission, statement, and vision, followed by an introduction of Adam Khoo. And then we will definitely start our question session that we're excited to hear this evening. So I just want to make sure, Adam, you can hear me clearly?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Fabulous. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about United Traders, first of all, for viewers that may not be familiar. The vision of United Traders is to deliver the highest quality of care and superior returns across all disciplines of the capital markets in a diligent and prudent manner to inspire the next generation of professional investors. The mission of United Traders is to become a network for institutional and proprietary trading through mentorship, with the lifetime goal of independent wealth and the continuous spirit of philanthropy. The vision of United Traders is to deliver the highest quality of care and superior returns across all disciplines of the capital markets in a diligent and prudent manner to inspire the next generation of professional investors. I will now go over to talk about Adam as well. A lot of you are fans of Adam and are familiar with Adam, but some of you may not know much about him. You may have just known him from, watching his videos through YouTube. And so I just want to talk to you guys about Adam. So Adam is an award-winning Singaporean entrepreneur, best-selling author, and peak performance trainer. He's a self-made millionaire by the age of 26, and he started and runs several businesses in education, training, learning centers, preschool education, fund management, and advertising, all with a combined annual turnover of $50 million. He's the executive chairman and chief master trainer of Adam Khoo Learning Technologies Group Limited and a director of 7 other private companies. Adam is also a member of the Singapore chapter of the Young Presidents Association. He's also the best-selling author of 13 books, I Am Gifted and So Are You, and that was ranked #1 bestseller. His other books include How to Multiply Your Child's Intelligence and Clueless in Starting a Business. His book, Master Your Mind, Design Your Destiny, which was the second highest selling book in Singapore in 2004, was on the bestsellers list for 36 consecutive weeks. His next 2 books, The Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires and Secrets of Millionaire Investors, both listed and stayed on the Straits Times bestseller list for more than 52 weeks. He's also authored Nurturing the Winner and Genius in Your Child, that was published in 2008, and Secrets of Building Multi-Million, launched in October. Profits from the Panic, launched in January 2009, Secrets of in June 2009. In 2010, he wrote Profit from the Asian Recovery, co-authored by Jason Wee, CFA, to share powerful investing strategies on profiting from Asia stocks. His latest book in 2011 is titled Winning the Game of Life, that hit #5 on the national bestseller list. Adam holds an honors degree in business administration from the National University of Singapore. As an undergraduate, he was ranked amongst the top 1% of academic achievers and became a pioneer in the Talent Development Program, which is the university's gifted program. He's also a licensed master practitioner and trainer in neurolinguistic programming. In his transformational pattern of excellence program, he shares the powerful NLP techniques like anchoring to help participants access the resourceful state to achieve excellence in their various fields of endeavor. Over the last year, he has trained over 500,000 students, teachers, professionals, executives, managers, and business owners. Some of his corporate clients include ST Engineering, Singapore Police Force, Coca-Cola, Infocom Development Authority, the Ministry of Defense, Prudential Insurance, Ernst & Young, ExxonMobil, Unilever, Citibank, Great Eastern Life, Hewlett-Packard, Sun Microsystems, Apple Inc., Accenture Consulting, and many more. His success and achievements are regularly featured in regional media like the Straits Times, the Business Times, the New Paper, the Lian Zebo, Channel News Asia, Channel U, Channel 8, the Hindu, the Malaysian Sun, and many more. He was ranked one of the top 25 richest Singaporean 40 by the Executive magazine, and in 2008 he was awarded the NUS Business School Eminent Alumni Award for being one of Singapore's most successful and prominent business leaders. So without further ado, very honored to be talking to you tonight, Adam. We are so thankful that you're here.
It's an honor to be
And we
invited.
appreciate your time this evening. So welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. Honored to share my ideas and insights.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start off with, these are questions that came from many viewers that were really wanted to know. I unfortunately couldn't, I wasn't going to ask you hundreds tonight. We would be here for days. So I narrowed it down to questions that were probably the most popular this evening, and that we'd love for you to share that information with the audience. So Adam, United Traders is all about working together as a team. We ask new traders to find a mentor that they connect with and has a trade that appeals. And, as a group member into teams to help one another, we work as a group as a whole.
Okay.
In mind, I have a two-part question for you. Do you believe in the benefits of working together as a group and equities trading? And have you worked with others over your trading career?
Okay, so to answer that question, I think that yes, working in a group is extremely beneficial if all the traders or investors working in the same group are following the exact same trading system, or the same trading systems where all of them agree on the set of entry rules, exit rules, and position sizing rules. Then it becomes really useful because the different members can help to find setups every day. I found this setup, I found that setup, and the different traders can help to evaluate if the setups are valid. Do they meet the trading rules? So in fact, among my students, I group them into groups, one of which would be swing trading with one set of rules. Another would be value momentum investing with again a completely different set of rules. Another one would be currency trading, which is more intraday scalping, a different set of rules. And yeah, the benefits are tremendous because within a group they're able to help each other achieve results that they could not have achieved individually. But having said that, if there are a group of investors and traders who are discussing strategies, but all of them have different trading systems, and all of them, for example, one is more of a intraday, one is more of a swing, one is doing more trend following, one is more on mean reversion, then it'll be a disaster. It's kind of like you can get the world's best two cooks, but if you put them together and they've got different cooking styles, you're going to get a horrible dish that comes out of it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sure, great. To answer the second question, have I ever been in a group myself? No, I haven't. I have not had the good fortune of being in one over the years. So I've always been trading alone. And I've only been in a group which I've started. And that was when I started my Wealth Academy program about 12 years ago. And so, yeah, I'm in that group. And so I'm kind of like the mentor of that group. And they're all following my systems. But along the journey, I've never been in another group. I guess one reason why is because, I started my trading journey more than 25 years ago. And at that time, there was no internet. The internet did not exist. There was no Telegram. There was no Discord. So there there were not much avenues to bring people together like we have right now. But I guess if I started now, things would be really different with the resources that are available right now. In the past, there were no chat groups. There were no communities like that.
Okay. Because, I agree with what you just said. Times have changed, and especially with the internet and the chat groups that have now evolved. I mean, that wasn't around, even as far back as maybe 10 years ago. That certainly you've seen a lot of things evolve and change. So, did you, Adam, you've mentioned, you've traded alone a lot of times and, in the past, and now you started. So when you were doing that on your own, did you have like a mentor that you started trading with? And if you're willing, would you be able to share maybe some memories of that mentor with us and what that meant to you?
Okay. Unfortunately, I never had a mentor. I wish I had one. I would have made so many mistakes and I would have gone round in circles for such a long period of time. So I never had a mentor. But a lot of what I learned was really through books. So I get indirect mentors through books. I mean, some of the people who impacted me the most would be Victor Sperandio. I don't know, Victor Sperandio wrote this book, Methods of a Wall Street Master, and a lot of his writings made a big impact on me on how do you read trends and so on and so forth. And the other person would be Dr. Alexander Elder, right? And of course, the Market Wizard books. Those made a great impact on the way I approach trading. And of course, in the early days when I was more of an investor, when I was more into value investing, then a lot of the books written about Warren Buffett made a big impact on how I approach fundamentals in investing, right? The closest I ever got to a mentor, I wouldn't really call it a mentor, more like a friend, is one of my army friends. His name is Kyung Hee, and I got to know him from the army. And we were also in university together, although we were studying different subjects. I was studying business, he was studying engineering, and he was on the dean's list. He had a first-class honors degree, graduated. And after he graduated, he actually joined the civil service. He actually joined the the Government Investment Corporation of Singapore for 2 years. And he quit. And he became a full-time trader in the currency markets. And he's one of the best traders that I know today, right? Because he's a trader who has never had a losing month. Okay. And he was making, or he's probably making a lot more now. I've not been in touch with him for quite a while, but at the time he was making something like about consistently $200,000 to $250,000 US a month.
Wow.
Without a losing month. So he was the one who inspired me to move from fundamentals to technicals, because he was purely a technical trader. Okay, so when I was doing fundamental investing, I was happy with 20%, 25% a year. All right, I thought that's the best I can ever do, because I mean Warren Buffett, who's the world's greatest investor, only gets 20% a year consistently over the last 50 years. So who am I to beat Warren Buffett? Right? So I had this mental limitation in my mind that there's no way you can get more than 20% a year. So when I saw this guy Kyung Hee, who was my army friend, and he was doing consistently 10 to 20% a month. Okay, now I know there are people who make 50% a month, but they're not consistent. They get 50% a month, the next month they blow it up, right? But he's doing it consistently every single month. And that blew my mind. And I said, how do you do it? And he said, technical analysis. I said, so at that time, I didn't believe in technical analysis. I thought it was some mumbo jumbo bullshit, right? So I got brainwashed by the value investing community that technical analysis is bullshit, right? That doesn't work.
Right, so true.
Predicting the future. So when I saw my friend doing it, I said, it works, because you see it being done in front of your own eyes, right? So he kind of like got me excited about TA. And so I went fully into technical analysis. I learned I read all the technical analysis books, I watched videos and so on and so forth. And then I realized that it's not technical analysis alone that makes you consistently successful. Because we know people who learn all about head and shoulders patterns, all about indicators, and they still lose money every single month, right? So the key is not really about the technical analysis concepts. It is how the concepts are applied, okay? And one of the most important things that I learned is that technical analysis should not be used to predict the market, because no one can predict the market. The market is random in nature, right? Every price movement is random. And technical analysis is all about finding probabilities. What is the most probable movement in the price in the short term? And there's a difference between prediction and probability, as you know, right? So prediction means it must move up. So when you make a prediction and it doesn't go your way, you get upset, you get angry, okay? And you may not even put a stop loss because it has to go up, right?
That's right.
But when in terms of probabilities, you know that it may go up or it may go down, right? But you know that it's more likely to go up than go down in a large sample size. So over 30 trades, 50 trades, if you keep applying the same setup, it's more likely you're going to be right than you're going to be wrong, okay? And again, it's managing your risk-return ratio. But you could have 5 trades where you apply that technical analysis concept and they are losing trades. And that's perfectly fine. And that's what a lot of people don't get, right? So once I got that and I discovered that was the key to consistent results, it was TA plus understanding probabilities plus risk-return ratio combined, that's what creates the results. So that was what I got from my friend, you know.
Well, you know what? That was really good because I like how you talked about, some of this technical analysis is sometimes bullshit because, people need to see beyond that alone and not just focus on the text and the chart setup. There's more to it. So, when you were going through this and, you were trying to learn all this, was there ever a time that you just felt like quitting? And what, if you did, what motivated you to keep going?
There were definitely many times when I felt really frustrated. Everyone does in whatever you do, whether it's in trading or business or relationships, it's all the same, right? But I never came close to quitting simply because of my personality. All right, I'm the kind of person who I'm like a pit bull. Once I grab onto a leg, I never let go. The guy can beat me with a stick, but I keep hanging on. And I've always been like that in relationships. In business, in everything I do. So I wouldn't really say it was a personality I was born with, but it was a lot of my NLP training when I was younger, right? I spent a lot of time learning neuro-linguistic programming, which is really about understanding how you manage your emotional states, how to reframe things in your mind. So I've learned to reframe failure into learning experiences, that everything happens for a reason. And again, because of that, no matter how bad things got, no matter how many accounts I blew up, and like most people, I blew up many accounts when I was young, right? Because I had no stop loss, I over leveraged, and I got really upset. But I'm the kind of person who I get so upset, but I wake up the next day and I go, all right, it's a new day, let's start again. And I've always been like that, in business. And so I believe that the key to success in trading and business in anything is really about managing your emotional state. Is being able to get over things fast and feeling really great about yourself the next morning.
And, I love that because it's really important. The next day is, new day, new start. You got to have the right attitude. Attitude's so important in trading. And you can never say, compare that one trade and think that whatever happened on that one's going to happen to the next one. You just have to, it's finished and just start fresh with the next one. So that's really great that you shared that because so many people can probably relate to you. So
I can let me just add on on something to that. There's a movie Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
Yes.
So I tell my traders, I say, you want to be a great trader, you got to be like you got to be like Dory, all right? Where you have 10-second memory, so you can't remember your last trade, and you just keep on swimming, and focus on moving forward and not dwell on the last trade.
That's so true. And everyone's going to go watch that movie tonight. So, I have a gentleman named Lee. I have a list of questions here. So I have a gentleman named Leo, and he was wanting to know, do you have an element in your trading repertoire that you feel is the forefront of your success trading?
It's a combination of many things. So again, the first thing is to have a trading system that you're confident with. And the only way to be confident in a trading system is to, number one, you have done a lot of back tests, right? You have back tested the system again and again. So you know with 100% confidence and certainty that it has a positive statistical expectancy. Just like when a casino puts up a game like roulette, they know that in the long run, it's going to make them money because they've done the math, right? So it's a lot of back testing and a lot of forward testing as well on a strategy. So the first thing is to have a system that you stick to with a fixed set of entry rules that are objective, they're not subjective, a fixed set of exit rules, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is to have a consistent risk of capital. So for example, if you're risking 2%, you always risk 2%. And of course, you can raise it to 3%, but once you do, you have to stick to 3%. You can't risk 3% on one trade because you're confident, and the next trade, you risk 1% because you're not so confident. Or you risk 1% and you lost, and you say, you know what, I've got to make it back, so I'm going to make it back. And then trading or
the 2%, 3% risk, because sometimes people just always change it. I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm risking 2%, and on this trade I'm going to risk 5%." So I like what you just shared, because it's really important to have stick to your trade plan and not necessarily change what you're planning to risk. I mean, you should keep the risk the same each time and not change what you think it's going to be based on what you think is going on with the trade. So I really love what you just shared. So, obviously trading, is so stressful, and I'm sure you've had a lot of stress in trading, and especially when you were starting out and maybe even now. So how do you balance the stresses of trading each day? And can you share some examples that would probably be helpful to the average, Jane and Joe trader out there that's listening tonight? Because everyone goes through this. Trading is very emotional sometimes. Unfortunately, we try to remove the emotions, but it's hard when there's money on the line. So maybe if you could share with us, your ways of handling those kind of stresses, that would be really helpful.
Okay, sure. So first, let me tell you a bit about the way I trade. So I trade a variety of different portfolios with different styles. For my swing trading style, so I'm swing trading only US stocks. So I focus just on the US market. Now for swing trading, I focus on the end of the day. So what I do is I spend about less than an hour to screen for trade setups, evaluate the setups, and I place my orders. So I place my orders before the market opens. When the market opens, I never look at the market. And it's easy for me because when the US market is open, it's when I'm going to sleep. So it's useful for me because I'm sleeping, right? And I only look at it the next day when I wake up. So when the market's open, I don't look at it. And I find that as a swing trader, that's really useful because there is no benefit of looking at the market once your orders have been placed. So I've automated my entire trading process. So typically when I go for a long trade, okay, I'm going to go long, I place a buy stop limit order. All right. So only when the price moves in my anticipated direction that my buy stop limit order gets triggered. And once my order gets triggered, I've got a set stop loss and a set profit target. Okay, so it's very much a fire and forget system. Once I place it there, that's it. I don't look at it. And I just wait for it to either hit my stop loss or my profit target. So it's a binary outcome. Okay. Now, of course, I do shift my stop loss when the price moves in my favor by a certain amount. I would then shift my stop loss to protect my profits and so on. I do that as well. But again, I only make that decision the next day. So what I find is when the market is open and you look at it, you get very emotional. So as it goes up, you feel happy and you go pet your dog, right? It goes down, you get upset, you go kick your dog, and you go through this roller coaster of emotions, and it's very emotionally draining and doesn't help you at all. And what people tend to do is they tend to intervene. They tend to micromanage the trade, right? They go, maybe I made a wrong decision. Okay, let me exit early. Or you know what? I think it's going to come down. Let me shift my stop loss, blah, blah, blah. Or let me shift my profit target. And that always screws you up. Okay, I can tell you that there were times when I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, I'm bored. Let me look at the market. And I looked at the market and I intervened, and I always regretted that decision. So,
you need to stay sleeping.
And yes, yeah. So to answer the question, how do you manage the stress of it would be number one, how you approach it. So my approach again is a fire and forget approach. Once I place the trade, I tell myself that I've got no expectation. I've got no idea, will this be a win or will this be a loss? I've got no idea. Okay. So my confidence comes not in this one trade, because each trade, I tell myself, the outcome of any single trade is random. Okay. But I'm confident that over 10 trades, over 20 trades, I will always end up positive. So because of that, I don't stress on micromanaging any particular trade. And again, it's what I say to myself. I keep saying to myself, trust the process, right? Focus on the process of placing good trades, and focus on really, following the rules. All right. So I tell my traders that there's a difference between good trades and winning trades. All right. A good trade is one where you followed the rules. A bad trade is one where you broke the rules. Now, a good trade can be a winning trade, and a good trade can be a losing trade. Right?
Very true.
But if you place good trades, if you keep placing good trades, then in the long run you will always make money. Okay. Now, if you place a bad trade, which means you place a trade where you didn't follow the rules, could it be a winning trade? Yes, it could. A bad trade could be a winning trade. And it may make you happy in the short term. But in the long run, it is going to be devastating for your trading career, because once you make a bad trade, which means you broke the rules and you made money from there, it's going to reinforce the bad habits where you will start to break the rules in the future, where you shift your stop loss, when you shouldn't, when you shift your profit target when you shouldn't. And in the long run, that will mess up the positive expectancy of your trading system.
So I like what you talked about, like when you swing trade, like you obviously have a plan, and then, you look at your pick, the next day, and then, you decide, what you're doing with your stop loss. So like, do you have like an exit? It's so hard to sometimes know, what is it going to be? So do you have like an exit strategy when you go into your trades, or, like, for example, like, do you have like a price target in mind and you stick to it? Or do you look for a percentage gained, and then when it gets that percentage level, that's when you're going to look to, maybe scale out or close the trade? So, if you could share with us a little bit of,
Sure, yeah.
for your exit strategy, because so many people have such a hard time, easy maybe to go in a trade sometimes, but such a hard time to get out.
Sure. So what I tell people is that before you enter a trade, you must already know when you're going to exit. Okay. Most people, they enter a trade, we have no idea when they're going to exit. And once you enter a trade, it is too late. You have to know your exit rules before you enter a trade. And there is no one right exit rule. There are many different exit rules, and it's all a matter of picking a style and sticking to that style. So my personal style for swing trading is always a fixed profit target of most of the time 2.5 R. So I think in terms of R. So R means your risk. Okay. So if I'm entering at $50, my stop loss is at $48. So my risk per share is $2. Right. And so I'll use my position sizing calculation to calculate the number of shares I buy so that I'm risking a fixed percentage of my capital. So if I'm risking $2, okay, my profit target will be $3 on top of my entry price, which would be about sorry, what am I talking about? Sorry, $5, right? So I'm risking $2 to make $5. So I'm going for a 2.5 hour target most of the time. But there are certain setups where I trade the range. There's a range setup, and I may risk 1 to make 3 at times. So yeah, it's always a fixed profit target for me. And once the price moves 1 hour in my favor, I'll then shift my stop loss to the entry price. So, and once I do that, I'll then allow it to hit either the profit target or the stop loss, which is now at the entry price. So for swing trading, that is my exit rule. I've got another portfolio, which is more of a value investing portfolio. So that is a different set of exit rules. So that one is more like trend following, where I'm holding it for many, many months. And so for that particular approach, there's no fixed target price. For that approach, I exit when I see a change in trend. And I determine a change in trend based on the price action, the price making lower highs and lower lows, more than 3 lower highs in a row, or when I see the moving averages begin to slope down and having a crossover. Okay, so again, that's a different set of rules. And then I've got another portfolio, which is more of a dividend portfolio. And that is where I buy REITs, real estate investment trusts. I buy companies more for dividends. And that is more like a buy and hold Warren Buffett strategy. So for that one, the exit is purely based on fundamentals. All right. So I only exit when the fundamentals of the company changes. So you can see that for different portfolios, I've got different set of entry rules and exit rules. But I'm very clear when I'm entering an investment or trade, which rule I'm following. Okay. The mistake many people make is they go into a trade and say, okay, I'm a trader, right? I'm a trader. So I've got a stop loss target, right? But the moment the trade doesn't go their way, they say, okay, you know what? I'm now an investor. I'm now Warren Buffett. I'm going to remove my stop loss and buy and hold it for a long run. You can't do that.
That's right.
You can't deep fry chicken and halfway say, okay, I'm not going to deep fry the chicken. I'm going to steam it. I'm going to fry. I'm going to steam the chicken. You're going to get a stomach ache after that.
You want to barf.
Yeah.
So you said, because that's so helpful with in different strategies of trading. But I like what you said about your stop loss strategy. Do you like stop losses yourself to lock in your profits, or do you have like mental stops, and then as things move on, you then decide to put in a stop loss as the trade starts to progress?
No, I don't use mental stops. I use hard stops.
Wow, people will be shocked about that.
I use hard stops for a few reasons. Number one, again, when I'm swing trading, I have to use hard stops because I'm sleeping.
The market moves when you're sleeping, Adam.
Yeah, I have to have a hard stop. Now, having said that, I trade currencies as well, and for currencies, I scalp, right? I scalp the news, and I do intraday trading using 50-minute candles. So my trades typically last for less than 1 to 2 hours. So for that one, I have to watch the market to a certain extent. But even for that one, once I place the trade for 50-minute candles for intraday trading, I walk away. I don't look at it anymore until it hits the profit target and the stop loss. So again, it's a hard stop as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if there was one thing about that you could tell the Adam Khoo of, let's say, 10 years ago, what would that be?
Buy Bitcoin.
Oh, that is so true. So many people probably wish, I remember I heard about Bitcoin when it was like $1. So, yeah. And I never bought it at the time. So I totally can relate. So,
sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, I was just saying about the Bitcoin. Did you want to comment anything else there? No.
Yeah, I actually talked about Bitcoins a bit in my video. I don't really trade Bitcoin. I'm just holding a few coins for the fun of it, and I'm also buying Ethereum where I go into ICOs. All right. So now there are two schools of thought. One school of thought is that cryptocurrencies will replace a big part of fiat currencies in the long run. Okay, that Bitcoin will be worth $100,000 million in the future. There's another school of thought that says that the whole thing's a scam. You'll crash to zero. Okay, and I always tell people that I have an open mind. I've got no idea what's going to happen. If it goes to zero, I'm not surprised. Okay, if it goes to $1 million per coin, I'm not surprised as well. So because of that, I just invest very little into cryptocurrencies. There's something really new. It's not really regulated. So I just put in a bit for the fun of it. So even if I lose everything, I don't really care about it. But if it does go to $1 million, I can say that, hey, I was part of that.
Right.
So yeah. So I just invest. To me, it's like a lottery ticket. It's like playing the casino.
That's true. So can you tell us, outside of technical analysis and a good understanding of reading charts, what do you feel has helped you prosper in the trading arena? Okay, so like I mentioned before, the technical analysis and the chart reading is really just one piece of the puzzle. To me, the most important part is really understanding position sizing, which is, again, risking a fixed percentage of your capital and understanding the risk to return ratio. That's the most important thing. And one of the things that I did a couple of years ago was an experiment, and I did this on currency. So what I did was, every day I would flip a coin, okay? And I actually used a virtual coin, which I downloaded on my, it was an app, right? So it's a digital flip, okay? Yeah. And what happened was, and I would play on the Euro USD currency pair. So if it was a head, I would go long, okay? And it was a fixed time. It was at 4 p.m. Singapore time. If it was a head, I would go long with a fixed stop loss 30 pips away and profit target 40 pips away. So it's like 30, 40, right? Very tight. And if it was a tails, I would go short. So this is just an experiment that, okay, if I just entered the market randomly and I did it every day and I did it for about 90 days, would I make money? And I did it and ended up making money. All right, it was not a lot, but it was still a positive result. That goes to show you that while entry rules are important, what's more important is that risk to return ratio and constantly risking the same percentage. Okay, that's really interesting, flipping the coin there. So, obviously, you have a passion for trading, and you've done well. You have these different schools that you have. So, what inspired you to want to actually teach? Because not everyone, there's people that are really good traders, but they're terrible teachers. I mean, I wouldn't want to learn anything from them, and probably no one else would. But you actually, you were motivated and inspired to want to teach. So made you want to do that?
I've been teaching all my life, and I found that it was my calling since I was 17 years old. So if you read a bit about my background through some of my books, in fact, my first book, I'm Gifted, So Are You, I wrote that book back in 98. So I was about 25 years old back then. So I used to be an underachiever. I was failing in school. I had a lot of learning difficulties. I had difficulties learning, and I had a lot of emotional problems when I was young because I came from a broken family. My parents went through a divorce and so on and so forth. So I was really in a mess. And, I got kicked out of school at 9, right? I had behavioral problems and so on and so forth. And out of desperation, my father sent me for kind of one of these motivational programs when I was 13 years old. And it was through that program where I learned about NLP. And I learned a lot about these study skills, how to draw mind maps, how to memorize stuff and all that. And that was what kind of like inspired me to change my life. So I went back to school and I started applying all these strategies, started, being positive and saying, I can do it, blah, 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 all this self-help. I started reading all this self-help, Anthony Robbins. I started reading his books, watching his videos. And I began topping my class and topping my school every single year. And my friends were like, what the hell happened to you?
New man.
Yeah, and I started teaching my friends. I said, you know what, I learned a way of how to memorize things really fast. So I taught them some of these. I taught them, I said, you got to set goals, you got to believe in yourself and all that. And one of my teachers, when I was 14 years old, was it 14, 15 years old, right? She was so impressed that from the bottom of the class, I was stopping the class, and she gave me half an hour of her teaching time. And she said, Adam, can you go up there and share with the students how you study, right? So I went up there and I taught them my study strategies and all that. And I felt great. And that's when I realized that I love teaching, or I love imparting knowledge. And when I see someone's face brighten up and they go, wow, I felt great about that. And what I did was I started writing articles to this magazine called Teenage Magazine. I was a contributor where I wrote articles on goal setting, memory skills, time management, self-belief, and so on and so forth. So I actually started out by teaching students on how to become top students. That's how I started out. And then I went very much into neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, hypnosis, and so on and so forth. And I started doing a lot of corporate training. I started training salespeople. I trained entrepreneurs and so on and so forth. And along the way, when I started doing well for myself, and I've always been trading, a combination of the fact that my grandfather encouraged me to start investing in stocks when I was about 12, 13 years old, right? So it was later on that I said, okay, and people came up to me and they said, Adam, you've taught us how to believe in ourselves, blah, 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 but we want to be more financially free. We want to learn how to generate some income. So I thought, okay, let's teach investing and trading. And that's what I did about 12 years ago. So it's something I've done all my life, actually. But so in fact, teaching investing and trading was one of the later things I did. What was early was really teaching more of the study skills, the NLP, and so on and so forth.
So I really I find that very inspiring, and I thought it was, your callings. Obviously it was, definitely the place for you to be, because you've really, really, really helped so many people out there. And, obviously when we're trading, it's important to be disciplined about taking loss. For you, was that like something that just came naturally for you, or did you have to work on that over time?
When I first started, like everyone else, to me, I couldn't take a loss. Okay, and this was, now I'm 44 this year. Okay, so this was 25 years ago, right? This was a long time ago. When again, I was
not that long ago.
Sorry?
I said not that long ago.
Not that long ago, yeah. So like I said, when I first started, I was more of an investor. I was more of the Warren Buffett fundamental guy, okay? So at that time, again, I did place a stop loss, and it was unheard of to take a loss. And I said, why take a loss? I did my research, I'm right, okay? And my revelation came, I think again, I don't remember exactly when, but it was the transition from investor to trader. And again, this was more than 20 years ago, when I decided to cut loss. Now, at that time, I had no hard stops. I had no stop loss. I came to a point where I learned about trends. I learned about uptrends and downtrends, right? And I realized that a lot of the stocks in my portfolio were good companies, fundamentally good companies, but they were on a downtrend, okay? And I told myself, I said, yeah, they are good companies. I could hold them for years and they'll come back eventually, right? But if they're on a downtrend, why not sell, take that bloody loss, put it into something else that's going up, and buy it back when it reverses trend, And the moment I sold and I realized that loss, it was a revelation that, it's okay to take a loss, and that was when, from then on, taking a loss meant nothing. It was fine. It was like brushing my teeth. And, yeah. And today, what I tell myself is, I treat trading as a business. And in any business, you have sales and you have cost of goods sold, right? So sales minus cost of goods sold is your gross profit, or your NU, right? So, for example, if you're running a boutique and you're selling dresses for $200, and your cost is $100, and you make $100. Now, is that a good markup? 50% markup, is that good? It's not bad, right?
That's pretty good. Not bad at all.
Not bad, right? So it's the same thing in trading, right? So in trading, when you have a winning trade, that's your sales revenue. When you have a loss, that's your cost of goods sold. So the difference is your gross profit. So you can't say that I want to be in a trading business and have no cost of goods sold. I only want to have revenue, right? You could have both. So when you think of a loss as a cost of goods sold, you don't feel bad anymore because you know it's part of the game.
Well, I really like that. And, obviously there's a lot of people sometimes, learning about trading, they're starting with an account and, maybe their account is not that big. I mean, do you have like any advice that you can share with someone who's new to trading and any tips or suggestions with someone with a small account who's really trying to grow it?
Actually, it's sometimes better to start with a small account, right? So even if you have a lot of money, start with a small account. So you have to always start with an amount which doesn't affect you emotionally. Okay, and that is different for different people. Okay, so as we know, emotions play a big part in trading. So how do you trade without emotions? One way is to trade an amount where even if you lose it, it does not really affect you. Okay, so again, it could be 5 grand, 10 grand, 2 grand, whatever it is for a particular person. And again, in a textbook, you always learn to risk, 2 to 3% of your capital. Now, again, that doesn't apply to everyone. To some people, 1% of their capital, if they have 5 losing trades, they freak out because they've got a large capital. So in that case, you're risking 0.5% or whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable. All right. And I always tell people that, okay, now when you're first starting off, always start with paper trading. And I know some people say, oh, that's not realistic, the emotions are not in the way, blah, blah, blah. But you always have to start with paper trading because you're bound to make, careless mistakes, all right? And you have to trade, you have to paper trade until you are confident to execute your trades consistently without deviation and to achieve constant results before you put in real money, all right? And don't be impatient about it, all right? It's not about making money now. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and the trouble is most people are, quick to, I want to make money now, let's just jump in, I can do it. And that's when they blow up their accounts or they get, yeah.
I hear that all the time, I'm going all in. And, it's such a popular thing that sometimes new people do. They go, I'm going all in. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a bit scary. Are you prepared to lose it all? So sometimes it can work out for them and they go all in and they do really well. And sometimes, like you said, you've even blown up accounts many times. So it does happen. So I just have a few more questions, but and then I want to talk about your website to a lot of interest. But can you, when the markets are down, which we sometimes experienced even recently, do you have any favorite go-to setups that you use when that happens?
Okay, so for swing trading, I use a couple of setups, right? My favorite setup is, I call it the bounce setup. So the bounce setup is basically a trend following setup. All right. So for example, when I'm going long, I look for a clear uptrend. I buy when it retraces to one of the key moving averages. And again, I like to look for confluence. So again, when the price bounces off the moving average, it's not good enough for me. It has to bounce off with a specific candlestick pattern that shows bullish reversal. I want to see confluence in possibly a Fibonacci level or support and resistance level. All right. Same thing with going short. For short, I look for clear downtrend, look for retracement to the key moving average, key resistance, and or Fibonacci level, and I go short. So that's my bounce strategy. That's one of the main setups I use. I also use once in a while mean reversion strategy, where when I see the price really overbought on an uptrend, and I see a false double top, I'll short it. And if it's collapsed, it's oversold, double bottom on a downtrend, I'll do a quick buy and a quick exit. So those are my main swing trading setups. So what I do every day basically is I look at the overall market. I look at S&P. Okay. So if the S&P is bullish, I would focus more on placing long trades for that day. If it's bearish, I'll place short trades for the day. If it's neither here nor there, I would place either one, right? So for example, last night, for me it's last night. Okay, so the S&P closed.
That's okay.
The S&P closed below its 20 exponential moving average and closed below the 50 moving average. So I will not be really taking any long trades today, or rather when the market opens for me tonight. I'll be looking at taking some short trades if there are good setups that present themselves. I never force a setup. I never force myself to say, I have to find a setup. So on certain days, if there are no setups, I go fishing or I don't do anything, right? But if there are setups, I'll take setups. Currently, I have a mixture of both long and short positions in the market. And once I have those positions, I leave them there and I don't intervene again until they hit my profit target or my stop loss, right? And most of them right now, I've already shifted my stop loss to break even. So they're kind of like risk-free trades for me. So once I'm in there, I don't intervene. And when I look at the market condition, it only influences the new setups I take for that day.
Yeah, I like that. So just to, I'm curious actually, because when you trade, I know you talked about you trade the US market, and you do swings, you invest. Do you actually trade at all, like small cap, large cap, mid cap, or is there any type of sector that you really like? Like biotech. Like what kind of things what kind of stocks appeal to you?
All kinds. So I have a screener where I screen for specific setups. So again, one specific setup is retracement of the moving average. Okay, so I screen based on setups. So it could be a small cap, it could be a large cap, it could be a mid cap, it could be a biotech. I don't care. It's all about the setup. All right. So as long as a stock has that setup I'm looking for, I go for it. But what I also do is, for example, say I do a screening right now, and I find that Lake Mason, the stock Lake Mason has my setup. It's showing the setup I'm looking for. What I then do is I'll then look at the industry and sector in which it is in. And if I'm going long, I have to ensure that the industry and the sector is on a clear uptrend as well. So I will not go long on a stock when it's in a bearish industry or sector. So all the stars have to be aligned. The market has to be bullish, the sector has to be bullish, the industry has to be bullish, and the stock has to be bullish.
Well, I like that answer. So basically anything money you take a look at.
Anything. Yeah, I don't care. Mid cap, large cap, I don't care. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah. And I love that because, sometimes people are like, oh, I hate small caps. I don't trade them. They're too risky. And I like to think differently and think, you know what? Who cares? Bottom line is you manage your risk. But, if it's small cap, mid cap, large cap, if it's going to make money and you know what you're going to be doing with the setup, and like you said, have a goal in mind when you go in the trade, have an exit plan, who cares what it is? You're going to make money. And I don't even overanalyze day trades at all. I mean, I just go in, I look at the chart and I trade it. I don't look at RSIs. I don't give a shit about it, So I like what you said earlier, right? Some of the techs are just BS. So, sorry, Adam?
The only thing I would caution against would be to go short on small caps with small market capitalizations, especially biotech and pharmaceutical companies. I avoid going short on pharmaceutical and biotech. That's the only thing. And the reason is very simple, because if you go short on a biotech or pharmaceutical company, and the next day they announce a cure for cancer,
a catalyst comes out,
okay?
Blow up your account.
Yeah. So especially if it's a small cap. So I've read horror stories where you short a stock at $3, they find a cure for cancer, it gaps up to $8 to $10 to $20, you're dead. Okay. But if you short, say a beverage company, that's fine, because a beverage company won't invent a drink that's gonna change the world tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like drinking Coke or Diet Coke's not going to kill us, right?
Yeah, you could.
So we believe that, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
So I just have just one or two more questions, Adam, and then I want to talk about your website because I'm getting a lot of people wanting to know. But any tips that you'd love to share with the audience this evening about anything, any tips you can give or suggestions on anything regarding trading or the psychology about it or how to view, when you start your day, suggestions or tips that, you have given to your students, even tips that you've used for yourself that were, they're part of your trading and it's made you sharing that can really help people.
Yeah, so I believe a lot in conditioning, in positive ritual conditioning. So one of the things I do every morning when I wake up is I do a quick workout, right? So that conditions your body. And then I do a conditioning for my mind. So one of the things I do is I kind of like look through my goals, right? The goals I've set for myself for the year and for the day. So again, these goals would be, relationship goals, my business goals, my trading goals, and so on and so forth. So to condition myself. And as far as trading is concerned, again, before I place my trade for the day, I keep reminding myself that to have no expectation, right? When I place a trade, I have no expectation. Will this be a win or will this be a loss? Okay. And to just trust the process. Okay. To have faith in the process. That again, as long as you keep placing trades that are based on your trading plan with no deviations, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, you're going to be making money. All right. But if you get, micromanaging and say, okay, this trade has to be a winning trade, or, and it doesn't, you get disappointed, you get angry, get frustrated, and then that screws up your psychology for the next trade. So it's really important, again, the way in which you approach it. And I think one of my very popular videos on YouTube is trading like a casino, right? And I use the same
method. That one for me, Adam, is Vegas. So that video is just perfect for me, right?
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. Yeah. So it's one of my most popular videos. I think I've got about more than 500,000 views right now on just that one video. And again, I talk about the fact that as a trader, I see myself as the house. Okay, I'm the casino, and I'm playing the rest of the world who are players out there. And people who don't have a trading plan are gamblers. They're coming to my casino. Okay, so you know that in a casino, when a casino has a loss, the casino manager doesn't run down and get upset, right? He doesn't care if the player just won money from the roulette table or he lost money, because he knows at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, the casino will always win because they've got a statistical edge. So look at yourself as a casino. That's it.
Well, I love that. And that video. So it was really, really well done. So thank you for making that video for people in the industry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Adam? Can you hear me, Adam? No?
Just type it in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey, Adam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, though?
Did we lose Natalie?
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like we did. Natalie can hear you, though. Just give her a second.
I can hear you. I can't hear Adam.
Sure.
Adam, can you check if you may have muted Natalie by accident? Because she can hear you.
No, I did not touch anything at all.
Oh. I can talk, but I don't know. Adam can't hear me.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything at all.
Okay,
I can hear Adam. I can hear you guys talking and Adam talking.
Vegas, can you restart Discord?
I can see her, or I can see her picture at least.
Okay, Adam, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. You're back.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about the technical glitch here. So I just want to, one last question, and then I want to talk about, I'd love for you to talk about your website, piranhaprofits.com, but I just have one last question. And, thanking Super Bloom for organizing this. I really appreciate, the work he's done. But I want to ask you, he was obviously recently in Singapore. So if you had to live somewhere else outside of Singapore, where would you live?
That's a good question. This is a tough one.
Is it?
I would live in a tropical paradise. I would live in Bali or Phuket.
Okay, I'm sure that is beautiful. I mean, I've never been to Bali, but I've heard so many nice things about it. So thank you for answering all our questions tonight and for your time. But I really want to talk about now about your website called piranhaprofits.com. And I love that name, first of all. How did you come up with it? And can you please tell us about the website and what's available through your platform for people to, that might be interested in signing up and learning about it?
Sure. I think what inspired me about the name was we all heard about the turtle traders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to come up with another animal that was a bit more ferocious. I thought of piranha.
A piranha,
and so
okay.
Piranhas work in schools, they work together, like trading community. And again, they take a lot of pieces out of the prey, right? So kind of like as traders, we're in the market, we're in and out really fast, taking quick bites of the market, right? So that's the whole concept behind Piranha Profits. So Piranha Profits is where I have my online professional trading courses, which I created for anyone who wants to enroll in our courses. It's a lifetime access to our videos. And you get to download all the course materials and so on and so forth. So I have a stock trading course, a professional stock trading course, where we have a level 1 and a level 2, right? So level 1 would be focusing just on swing trading, which using one of my main strategies known as the bounce strategy. And of course, all the other things you need to know about trading: technical analysis, psychology, position sizing. Level 2 of the stock trading course would be more advanced swing trading strategies, one of which is known as the impulse pullback. I also teach my counter trend mean reversion strategies, which is a Bollinger mean reversion capitulation, as well as a scalping scalping strategy for stocks, where we scalp the earnings gap. All right, so that's for stock trading. I've got an online forex trading course. Again, that's a level 1 and level 2, focused mainly on intraday trading. All right, so day trading, not swing trading. So forex is day trading, plus scalping as well. We scalp the news events that move currency pairs. So those are my 2 main courses that we have on Piranha Profits. And I believe that we have a coupon code for your members.
Yep. So we have the website and we're going to post it for everyone. So it's piranhaprofits.com, and the promo code will be United Traders, and then you'll get a discount. So that's really good because a lot of people really are interested. So that's great. We'll have members from all over that are going to be looking into it and joining your trading platform. So Thank you so much, Adam. Anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
Okay. I guess the last thing is the only way you can succeed in something is if you enjoy the journey. All right. So enjoy the journey, whatever it may be, business, relationships. You got to enjoy the journey, and it's not about, in the words of Miley Cyrus, it's the climb. Enjoy the climb.
Well, those are really good words. And I think there's going to be a lot of, I've taken tons of notes tonight. So thank you so much. I can tell you for sure that I've enjoyed talking to you. I know a lot of people have enjoyed listening tonight. And really great notes. I know you're a very busy guy, but at the end of the day, what I love about you a lot is that you're grounded, and you always love giving back to the trading community. And very honored to have spoken with you tonight. I look forward to maybe reconnecting with you again in the future, maybe on a different kind of topic, but very, very enlightening, because so many people have been wanting to hear you talk and hear about your strategies and hear about your website. And so we just got more than what we even wanted tonight. So thank you so much for waking up and joining us. And it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure being here as well. Thank you, Natalie, and thank you to Super Bloom for the great work you're doing. I look forward to speaking to you guys in the future as well.
Thanks a lot, Adam. Have a great day.
Great day.
And good night, everybody, for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, and we'll be back again at a future date. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous night, and good morning to Adam, and have a great day.
Thank you.